People often say that in love, a woman should never make it too easy to be won over. But let me ask you this: what truly keeps someone coming back? It's not about making him chase or creating artificial distance. Instead, it's about becoming so grounded and confident in yourself that he willingly returns, drawn to your authenticity and self-assurance. A high-value woman doesn't need to beg for attention or play games. She builds relationships rooted in respect and alignment with her values. She knows her worth and lives her life with purpose, radiating natural attraction through her actions, not her demands. When you embody self-love and balance, people notice, and they stay, not because they have to, but because they want to. In this video, I'll share how you can apply timeless Stoic principles to relationships and life. You'll learn practical ways to embrace inner peace, control your emotions, and find clarity in your worth. These aren't just abstract ideas, they're actionable steps to help you embody quiet confidence, set meaningful boundaries, and maintain your individuality while building a strong connection. Imagine being the woman who doesn't just capture attention but keeps it through her unwavering presence. Share this video with someone who needs this wisdom, and in the comments, share what self-worth means to you. Now, let's explore how to turn this philosophy into your reality. 1. Don't play games or seek validation. Have you ever found yourself waiting for his text, wondering if your silence would make him miss you? Perhaps for a fleeting moment, it worked. You received the message, and it felt like a small victory. But deep down, you knew this wasn't the love you longed for. Games may spark temporary attention, but they rarely build meaningful connections. A high-value woman does not resort to emotional games or crave validation from a man. She understands that love rooted in manipulation is fragile and unsatisfying. True connection flourishes in authenticity, honesty, and mutual respect. When you stop trying to control his reactions and start focusing on your inner peace, something extraordinary happens. You become magnetic. In relationships, games often mask insecurity. They create an unstable foundation where both partners are left guessing, doubting, and questioning. Imagine if you were in his position. How would you feel if your actions were met with silence designed to provoke a response? Instead of fostering trust, such tactics erode it. As the Stoics teach, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. When you play games, you often do so out of fear of being rejected or unseen. But this fear blinds you to the present moment and robs you of the opportunity to nurture something genuine. It's easy to confuse the rush of being noticed with love. But validation is fleeting, while love is enduring. When you rely on someone else to affirm your worth, you give away your power. This dependence can lead to a cycle of overgiving, where you pour energy into pleasing someone else while neglecting your own needs and values. A high-value woman flips this dynamic. She seeks fulfillment from within, aligning her actions with her principles rather than external approval. This self-assuredness not only liberates her but also draws others toward her naturally. Authenticity is one of the most attractive qualities you can embody. Imagine a relationship where you feel free to express your thoughts and emotions without fear of judgment. Authenticity allows you to connect on a deeper level, beyond surface appearances or games. Consider this. When you share your feelings openly, you create space for true intimacy. If something bothers you, instead of retreating into silence or crafting a strategic response, you can simply say, "This is how I feel." This honesty, while vulnerable, is also powerful. It demonstrates self-respect and encourages him to meet you with the same level of openness. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." This wisdom applies to relationships too. Instead of trying to shape someone else's behavior, focus on living authentically. Show him what mutual respect and genuine love look like through your actions. The moment you stop needing his attention to feel complete is the moment you regain control over your happiness. Independence is not about rejecting connection. It's about not being defined by it. Think of a woman who walks into a room with quiet confidence. She doesn't need to announce her presence or seek approval from others. Instead, her self-assurance speaks volumes. When you carry yourself with this kind of energy, you become irresistible. Not because you're playing hard to get, but because you exude calm certainty in your worth. Imagine you're feeling insecure about your relationship. You choose to stay silent, hoping he'll notice and make the first move. When he eventually reaches out, you feel a sense of satisfaction. But ask yourself, is this the kind of connection you truly want? A relationship where your happiness hinges on his actions? Now picture a different scenario. Instead of retreating into games, you communicate honestly. You tell him how you feel, not to elicit a specific response, but to share your truth. This approach might feel vulnerable, but it builds trust and allows both of you to connect more deeply. When you catch yourself seeking validation, pause and ask, what am I trying to prove, and why? This simple question can help you realign with your values. Recognize the difference between sharing your feelings and overextending yourself to gain approval. Respect your emotional limits. Confidence comes from knowing your worth, independent of others' opinions. Invest time in your passions, goals, and personal growth. Detachment doesn't mean indifference. It means understanding that you cannot control how someone feels or reacts. Focus on what you can control: your actions, mindset, and emotions. By letting go of games and the need for validation, you unlock the potential for a healthier, more fulfilling connection. A high-value woman knows that peace comes from within, not from someone else's attention. When you live authentically and confidently, you create a space where love can flourish naturally. As Epictetus reminds us, no great thing is created suddenly. Relationships are no exception. Build them with honesty, patience, and unwavering self-respect. The right person won't just notice, they'll cherish you for who you truly are. 2. Exude quiet confidence. There's something profoundly magnetic about a woman who enters a room and commands attention without saying a word. It's not her clothes, her makeup, or her status. It's her quiet confidence. This kind of self-assurance doesn't shout, it whispers. It's the way she holds herself, the calmness in her demeanor, and the steadiness in her actions that make her presence unforgettable. Quiet confidence begins with knowing yourself. Do you truly understand your worth? Not because someone validated it, but because you feel it within your core? This understanding is the foundation of true confidence. As the Stoics teach, man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems. When you stop allowing external judgments to define you, you begin to carry yourself with an energy that is both peaceful and captivating. Consider this example. Imagine you've always made yourself readily available for his every call, every plan, and every whim. But one day, you decide to prioritize your time. You focus on your hobbies, immerse yourself in your passions, and take steps toward your goals. Without saying a word, you send a powerful message. I value my time, my energy, and my growth. Suddenly, he notices something different about you. Your presence feels less predictable but more intriguing. This isn't about being aloof. It's about demonstrating that your life is full and vibrant on its own. Confidence of this kind isn't something you boast about. It's something you live. You don't need to explain your choices or prove your value. Your actions naturally convey it. For instance, instead of texting him constantly to seek his attention, you choose to spend a quiet evening reading, journaling, or attending a fitness class you've always wanted to try. These small but meaningful decisions show that you're invested in your own happiness, which in turn makes you irresistible. Quiet confidence also shines in the way you respond, not react to situations. Picture this. He cancels plans last minute, leaving you disappointed. Instead of expressing frustration or trying to guilt him, you calmly reply, I understand. Let's reschedule when it works for both of us. Then, you move forward with your evening, perhaps calling a friend, indulging in self-care, or tackling a project you've been meaning to complete. This response demonstrates emotional balance and a lack of neediness. It tells him, without words, that your happiness doesn't depend on him alone. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This philosophy applies perfectly to relationships. You cannot control how someone else acts, but you can always control how you respond. By maintaining composure and self-respect, you embody the essence of quiet confidence. To cultivate this level of assurance, start by dedicating time to self-reflection. What are your strengths? What brings you joy? What values guide your decisions? The more deeply you understand yourself, the more unshakable your confidence becomes. When you're clear on who you are, you're less likely to be swayed by external opinions or fleeting insecurities. Another key to exuding quiet confidence is staying present. Many people spend their days consumed by worries about the future or regrets about the past. Instead, focus on the now. When you're fully engaged at the moment, whether you're at work, enjoying a meal, or spending time with loved ones, you radiate a sense of contentment that others find deeply appealing. This doesn't mean you're never vulnerable. True confidence includes the courage to be authentic, even when it feels risky. If you're hurt or concerned about something, express it with honesty and grace. Quiet confidence isn't about suppressing emotions. It's about communicating them with clarity and respect. For example, instead of saying, "You never prioritize me," you might say, "I value the time we spend together and hope we can make it a priority." This approach invites collaboration rather than conflict. In the end, quiet confidence is not just about how you interact with others, but also about how you treat yourself. Celebrate your achievements, no matter how small. Be kind to yourself when things don't go as planned. Most importantly, let go of the need for approval from anyone else. As Epictetus said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. When you exude quiet confidence, you create an environment where love and respect can thrive naturally. You're no longer chasing attention or trying to prove your worth, you're simply living it. And in doing so, you become the kind of woman who draws others in effortlessly, not because of what you say, but because of who you are. 3. Confidence and emotional stability. Have you ever been in a situation where he comes to you overwhelmed by the weight of his responsibilities? Perhaps it was a stressful deadline at work or a personal challenge he couldn't shake off. You listened, offering calm reassurance, and helped him sort through the chaos without rushing to judge or overreact. In that moment, he didn't just see you as a partner. He felt your emotional stability as a source of strength, a place of peace he could always return to. Confidence and emotional stability are the foundation of any strong relationship. They not only make you resilient in the face of challenges, but also create an environment where trust and respect can flourish. When you maintain emotional balance, you signal that you are capable of handling life's uncertainties with grace. This reassures him, showing that you are not only confident in yourself, but also a steady, reliable presence in his life. As the Stoics teach, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. In relationships, this principle is profound. Emotional stability does not mean ignoring your feelings or suppressing vulnerability. Instead, it's about recognizing your emotions, understanding them, and responding thoughtfully, rather than reacting impulsively. When you embody this, you become a beacon of calm, even in stormy times. Imagine this: you've planned a weekend getaway together, but last-minute work commitments force him to cancel. Instead of expressing frustration or disappointment, you calmly acknowledge the situation. You might say, "I understand you have a lot on your plate. Let's find another time that works." This measured response doesn't dismiss your feelings, but it prioritizes understanding and flexibility. It communicates that you value his efforts and recognize his challenges, rather than letting one setback disrupt the harmony you share. Building emotional stability begins with self-awareness. Take time to understand your triggers, your needs, and your boundaries. When you know yourself deeply, you are less likely to be swayed by external pressures or fleeting emotions. This inner clarity allows you to approach situations with confidence and poise, even when they're unexpected. Confidence, too, grows from this self-awareness. It's not about arrogance or dominance. It's about carrying yourself with quiet assurance. For example, let's say you're faced with a disagreement. Instead of trying to win the argument, you focus on understanding his perspective and expressing your own calmly. You might say, "I hear what you're saying, and I'd like to share how I feel about this." This approach not only diffuses tension, but also demonstrates your emotional intelligence and confidence in handling conflict constructively. Another way to nurture emotional stability is through detachment, a core principle of Stoicism. Detachment does not mean apathy. Rather, it's the understanding that you cannot control someone else's actions or feelings, you can only control your own. When you release the need to micromanage outcomes, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and create space for genuine connection. As Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. A real-life example of this might be when he's having a bad day and unintentionally snaps at you. Instead of reacting defensively, you pause and consider what he might be going through. You could respond with, "It seems like something's bothering you. Do you want to talk about it?" This simple act of empathy not only diffuses the situation but also strengthens the bond between you. He'll appreciate your ability to remain composed and supportive, even when emotions run high. Confidence and emotional stability are not only about how you interact with him, but also about how you handle yourself. Make time for self-care, pursue your passions, and invest in your personal growth. When he sees you thriving independently, he'll admire your strength and the balance you bring to the relationship. You're showing him that your happiness comes from within, not from external validation. When you embody confidence and emotional stability, you create a partnership that feels safe, balanced, and deeply fulfilling. He knows that when life becomes overwhelming, you're someone he can rely on, not because you fix his problems, but because your presence inspires calm and clarity. In a world often filled with chaos, your emotional steadiness becomes a rare and cherished quality. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." When you cultivate this calmness within yourself, you don't just enrich your relationships, you elevate your entire life. This strength allows you to navigate challenges with grace, embrace love with openness, and build connections that are as enduring as they are meaningful. 4. Stand firm in your beliefs. There is a quiet power in a woman who knows her values and lives by them. She doesn't bend easily to the opinions of others, nor does she waver in the face of pressure, even from someone she loves. A high-value woman understands that standing firm in her beliefs is not about being stubborn or inflexible. It's about knowing who she is and honoring her truth. This strength inspires respect and admiration, creating the foundation for a relationship built on mutual understanding and trust. In relationships, it's tempting to compromise too much to keep the peace or gain approval. But when you sacrifice your principles, you not only lose sight of your identity, but also diminish the respect your partner has for you. As the Stoics teach, if you are not true to yourself, you are like a tree without roots. You cannot stand firm. Knowing your core values and standing by them is what makes you unshakable, even in the face of disagreement. Confidence in your beliefs begins with clarity. Ask yourself, what truly matters to you? What are the non-negotiable principles that guide your decisions? When you have a clear sense of your values, you become less susceptible to external influences. You stop seeking validation from others, and your life becomes guided by your inner compass. This authenticity is magnetic. It shows that you are not afraid to be yourself, regardless of who is watching. When you stand firm in your beliefs, you create a powerful dynamic in your relationship. Your partner recognizes that you are a person of substance, someone who is not easily swayed or manipulated. This doesn't mean being rigid or unwilling to listen. It means engaging in conversations with an open mind while remaining true to your convictions. As Epictetus reminds us, who then is invincible? The one who cannot be upset by anything outside their reasoned choice. For a high-value woman, standing firm doesn't mean creating conflict. Instead, it's about expressing your beliefs calmly and respectfully. You don't need to raise your voice to be heard. Your steadiness speaks volumes. When a disagreement arises, instead of becoming defensive or backing down to avoid discomfort, you can say, "This is how I see it, and this is why it matters to me." By articulating your thoughts with clarity and conviction, you foster a deeper level of communication and understanding. This principle is not only about major life decisions, but also about the smaller, everyday choices that reflect your character. Whether it's how you spend your time, the goals you pursue, or the way you expect to be treated, these decisions show the world and your partner who you are. When you act in alignment with your values, you send a clear message. This is me, and I am proud of who I am. Standing firm in your beliefs also means respecting his. Relationships thrive when both partners feel seen and heard. Just as you hold space for your values, allow him the same courtesy. True connection arises when two people can bring their whole selves to the table without fear of judgment. This mutual respect deepens trust and creates a partnership rooted in equality and authenticity. Yet, there will be moments when standing firm is tested. Perhaps it's when your boundaries are challenged, or when you're asked to compromise on something important. In these moments, remind yourself that saying no is not a rejection of love, but an affirmation of your self-respect. As Marcus Aurelius said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When you remain steadfast, you reinforce your inner strength and show that your decisions are grounded in purpose, not impulse. Living true to your beliefs doesn't mean you will always have the approval of others, but it does mean that you will have the approval of yourself, and that is the foundation of genuine confidence. When you honor your values, you inspire others to do the same. You demonstrate that love and respect are earned through authenticity, not through compromise or conformity. A high-value woman knows that her beliefs are not a burden. They are her strength. They guide her choices, shape her relationships, and define her character. She understands that standing firm is not about being unyielding, but about staying true to what she holds dear. In doing so, she becomes not only a partner, but an equal, someone who elevates the relationship through her unwavering sense of self. This is what creates lasting respect and admiration, a love built on the foundation of authenticity and integrity. 5. Maintain your own life and interests. Have you ever chosen to skip a date night to attend a painting class you'd been excited about, or taken a weekend trip with friends instead of waiting for his plans? In those moments, you might have felt a sense of freedom and joy, embracing the life you've built for yourself. You likely noticed something else too. Your relationship felt lighter, more vibrant. He wasn't frustrated or distant. Instead, he respected you more, drawn to the way you prioritized your passions and lived fully as your person. Maintaining your own life and interests is one of the most powerful ways to build a healthy, balanced relationship. It reminds both you and him that you are more than a partner. You are an individual with dreams, goals, and passions that extend beyond the relationship. This independence creates a dynamic of mutual respect and admiration, where both people feel valued for who they are, not just their role in the partnership. As the Stoics teach, do not tie your happiness to external things, for they are fleeting. Your identity and joy should never hinge entirely on someone else. When you live a life rich with purpose and meaning, you show that your happiness is self-sustaining. This not only makes you more attractive, but also builds a foundation for a relationship that thrives on shared growth, rather than dependency. Many women, especially in the early stages of a relationship, fall into the trap of reshaping their lives to fit someone else's. They cancel plans, abandon hobbies, and even shift their goals to prioritize their partner. While this might feel like dedication, it often leads to a loss of self and an imbalance in the relationship. A high-value woman avoids this pitfall. She understands that by nurturing her own life, she enriches the relationship rather than detracting from it. Picture a scenario where you've been looking forward to a book club meeting that aligns with your love for literature. However, your partner suggests a spontaneous dinner at the same time. Instead of immediately rearranging your schedule, you express your commitment to the event and suggest an alternative dinner plan. This simple act of honoring your priorities not only reinforces your sense of self-worth, but also communicates that your interests matter. Over time, he'll come to value your independence, realizing that being with you means being part of a life filled with passion and purpose. Maintaining your interests doesn't mean ignoring your relationship or refusing to compromise. It's about striking a balance. Relationships flourish when two individuals bring their full selves to the table, rather than losing their identities to become a mirror of each other. When you continue to pursue your hobbies, cultivate friendships, and chase your goals, you create a life that feels complete with or without him. This principle also protects you from the emotional roller coaster that can come from placing all your happiness in someone else's hands. As Epictetus wisely said, Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. By keeping your life fulfilling outside of your relationship, you ensure that your sense of worth and contentment doesn't depend on his mood, attention, or actions. This emotional balance is deeply attractive. It shows him that you are with him by choice, not by need. To maintain your own life, start by identifying what truly lights you up. Maybe it's a creative pursuit, like writing or painting. Perhaps it's a fitness goal or a professional ambition. Whatever it is, dedicate time to it regularly. Schedule it into your week, the same way you would a date or a work meeting. When you make your passions a priority, you demonstrate that you value your growth and happiness, setting a powerful example for your partner to do the same. Living an independent life also involves setting boundaries. This doesn't mean building walls around your time or keeping him at a distance. Instead, it's about being clear and consistent about what you need to feel fulfilled. If you've planned a solo evening to recharge or committed to a weekend retreat, communicate that with warmth and confidence. He'll not only understand, but will admire your dedication to self-care. When you maintain your own life and interests, you create space for your partner to do the same. This mutual respect for individuality deepens the connection between you. Instead of feeling suffocated or overly relied upon, he'll see you as someone who inspires him to grow, just as you are growing yourself. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By focusing on your passions and nurturing your independence, you cultivate a mindset of abundance and fulfillment. You radiate confidence and self-respect, creating a relationship dynamic that is not only balanced, but also enduring. This is the power of living for yourself while loving someone else. 6. Treat him as an equal. Think about the times you and he worked together to tackle everyday tasks, whether it was sharing household chores, planning a weekend getaway, or making an important decision about your future as a couple. In those moments, you weren't leaning on him to fix things or treating him as someone above you. Instead, you collaborated as equals. The balance felt natural, and the respect it fostered made your relationship even stronger. He felt valued for who he was, not just what he could do for you, and you felt empowered as an active participant in your shared journey. In relationships, treating your partner as an equal is fundamental to building trust and mutual respect. It's easy to fall into the trap of viewing him as a rescuer, or the one who should bear the weight of every problem. However, a high-value woman recognizes that a strong partnership is one where both individuals contribute, support, and uplift one another. The Stoics teach us, we are all parts of one great whole. This idea applies beautifully to relationships. Neither partner should overshadow the other. Instead, both should work together harmoniously, like two pieces of a puzzle. When you treat him as your equal, you affirm his value while also reinforcing your own. Equality in a relationship doesn't mean you have to do everything the same way or agree on every point. Rather, it means respecting each other's strengths and allowing room for differences. For example, if he excels in problem solving, while you bring emotional intelligence to the table, embrace those qualities as complementary rather than competing. Together, these differences create a balanced and dynamic relationship. A high-value woman knows that she doesn't need to downplay her abilities or overstate his to keep the peace. Instead, she confidently steps into her role as a partner, knowing her contributions are just as valuable. Imagine discussing a financial decision. Instead of deferring to his opinion simply because he might have more experience in that area, you actively engage in the conversation, asking questions and offering your perspective. This not only empowers you, but also demonstrates that you see yourself as an equal voice in the relationship. Treating him as an equal also means acknowledging his strengths without diminishing your own. While it's wonderful to appreciate his qualities, it's equally important to recognize and honor what you bring to the table. This balance ensures that the relationship thrives on mutual admiration, not one-sided validation. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Look well into yourself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if you will look." By valuing your contributions, you model self-respect and inspire the same in him. When you approach the relationship with this sense of balance, it also changes how he views you. He sees a partner who is confident, self-assured, and willing to take responsibility, not someone who leans on him excessively or expects him to bear the weight of the relationship alone. This dynamic creates a safe and supportive space where both of you feel free to express yourselves and grow together. At the heart of equality is collaboration. Think about the joy of working together on something as simple as planning a vacation. You share ideas, compromise, and make decisions that suit both of you. This process not only strengthens your bond, but also shows him that you value his input without overshadowing your own. Another way to embody equality is by taking initiative. Whether it's suggesting a new activity, addressing a concern, or making plans for the future, your ability to lead shows that you're invested in the relationship's success. This act of initiative communicates confidence and ensures that the relationship feels like a shared effort rather than a one-sided dynamic. Equality also extends to emotional support. Just as you lean on him in times of need, encourage him to do the same with you. Be the person he feels comfortable confiding in, knowing that you'll meet him with empathy and understanding. As Epictetus wisely said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Listening attentively not only deepens your connection, but also reinforces the idea that you're equals navigating life together. By treating him as an equal, you create a partnership that is both strong and enduring. He feels respected, valued, and seen for who he is, not just for what he can provide. At the same time, you maintain your sense of independence and self-worth, ensuring that the relationship is a union of 2 whole, confident individuals. This balance of mutual respect and shared effort is the cornerstone of a high-value relationship, one that inspires both love and admiration. 7. Genuinely honor his strengths. To truly honor a man's strengths is to see him for who he is, not just for what he does. It is not about empty flattery or surface-level compliments. Instead, it's about recognizing the unique qualities he brings to your relationship and appreciating his efforts with sincerity and depth. This kind of acknowledgement speaks directly to his core, making him feel valued in a way that words alone cannot achieve. A high-value woman knows that genuine admiration begins with understanding. She takes the time to observe what drives him, what challenges he overcomes, and how he contributes to the world around him. Whether it's his patience, his courage, his integrity, or his ability to solve problems, she notices these traits not as obligations he fulfills, but as the virtues that define his character. This is the kind of appreciation that makes him feel truly seen and respected. The Stoics teach us to focus on what is in your power. When you honor his strengths, you highlight the qualities he has cultivated through his choices, his discipline, and his dedication. This acknowledgement reinforces the idea that his efforts matter, not just to you but to the world he navigates. It gives him a sense of purpose and pride, strengthening the bond between you. However, honoring his strengths does not mean placing him on a pedestal or diminishing your own worth. It is about mutual respect. When you appreciate his qualities, you also model the kind of recognition you expect in return. This balance ensures that admiration flows both ways, creating a partnership where both individuals feel valued and inspired by one another. Sincere appreciation has the power to transform the dynamic of a relationship. When he knows that you genuinely value his efforts and qualities, he feels motivated to keep bringing his best self to the table. This isn't about manipulation or expecting more from him. It's about creating an environment where respect and gratitude flourish naturally. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." Your recognition of his strengths encourages him to live up to that ideal. In honoring his strengths, it's important to focus on specific qualities and actions rather than vague statements. Telling him, "You're amazing," is pleasant, but doesn't hold the same weight as saying, "I admire how you stayed calm and focused during that stressful situation." When your acknowledgement is rooted in something real, it resonates more deeply, making him feel appreciated in a meaningful way. This practice also builds trust. A man who feels genuinely respected is more likely to open up and share his vulnerabilities. He knows that you see the good in him, which gives him the confidence to be himself without fear of judgment. Over time, this kind of connection becomes a cornerstone of your relationship, creating a bond that is both enduring and profound. Another benefit of honoring his strengths is the example it sets within the relationship. By celebrating his positive qualities, you inspire him to notice and appreciate yours. This reciprocal admiration fosters an atmosphere of mutual growth and support. Together, you both become better versions of yourselves, encouraged by the recognition and encouragement you provide for one another. The key to genuine admiration lies in the intention behind it. It is not about saying the right things to make him feel good in the moment, but about fostering a deeper understanding of who he is. This kind of authenticity can only come from a place of self-assuredness and emotional balance. When you honor his strengths, you are not diminishing your own, but rather elevating the partnership you share. In relationships, it's easy to get caught up in what's missing or what could be improved. But when you shift your focus to what's already there, his strengths, his efforts, his character, you create a space for gratitude and positivity to grow. This is the foundation of a high-value relationship, one built on respect, appreciation, and mutual empowerment. As Epictetus said, "Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." When you approach your relationship with this clarity and intentionality, your admiration for his strengths becomes a reflection of your self-worth and confidence. Together, you build something that not only endures, but also thrives. This is the essence of a meaningful connection, one where both partners feel truly valued and understood. 8. Respect his space. Have you ever wondered if giving someone space could bring them closer to you? In a healthy relationship, the answer is often yes. Respecting his need for time alone or to focus on personal priorities doesn't weaken your connection, it strengthens it. It shows maturity, understanding, and confidence, all of which are hallmarks of a high-value woman. There's a profound wisdom in understanding that relationships thrive when both individuals have room to grow independently. The Stoics teach, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This applies not only to the individual, but to the dynamics of a partnership. Giving him space allows him to master his own thoughts, goals, and challenges, and it allows you to do the same. Imagine a time when he was consumed by a demanding work project. He needed a few days to focus entirely on meeting a deadline, leaving little time for dates or long conversations. Instead of feeling neglected or pressuring him for attention, you chose to use that time to focus on yourself. Maybe you took up a new hobby, spent time with friends, or indulged in self-care. When he finished his project and came back to you, he felt a sense of relief and gratitude for your understanding. Your respect for his space didn't push him away, it drew him closer. Respecting his space also communicates a powerful message. You trust him. Trust is the foundation of any strong relationship, and showing that you respect his need for autonomy reinforces that trust. It tells him you believe in his ability to manage his life while still being present in your partnership. This balance creates a dynamic where neither partner feels suffocated or overly relied upon. When you respect his space, it's important to remember that this isn't about distance or disconnection. It's about creating room for individuality within the relationship. You're not pulling away, you're offering him the freedom to recharge and grow. At the same time, you're allowing yourself to invest in your passions, goals, and self-improvement. This mutual respect fosters a sense of ease and naturalness that makes the relationship feel effortless and fulfilling. The Stoics often emphasize the importance of focusing on what is within your control. As Epictetus wisely said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." When you release the need to control how much time he spends with you or how he uses his time, you free yourself from unnecessary stress. This emotional balance not only benefits you, but also sets the tone for a healthier, more sustainable connection. Respecting his space also sets a standard for how you wish to be treated. By demonstrating understanding and patience, you create an environment where he feels encouraged to offer you the same consideration. He'll see that you value your own independence and personal growth, inspiring him to respect your time and priorities as well. It's important to note that respecting his space doesn't mean ignoring your own needs. Open communication, remains essential. If you ever feel unsure about his boundaries or your own, don't hesitate to address it. A simple conversation, such as, "I noticed you've been busy lately. How can I support you during this time?" can clarify expectations and show that your respect comes from a place of care, not indifference. This approach also deepens emotional intimacy. When he knows he can take time for himself without fear of judgment or resentment, he's more likely to return to the relationship feeling rejuvenated and appreciative. He'll see you as someone who enhances his life, rather than someone who demands it revolve entirely around her. A high-value woman knows that love is not about possession, but about partnership. Respecting his space allows you both to maintain your individuality while building a connection that feels strong, supportive, and free. It shows him that you're secure enough in yourself to let him have the freedom to be himself. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By choosing to respect his space, you cultivate a relationship rooted in trust, understanding, and mutual growth. It's not about stepping back, it's about stepping forward together, stronger and more connected than ever before. 9. Clear boundaries and communication boundaries are not walls that separate but bridges that connect, creating a healthy space where love and respect can flourish. A high-value woman understands that setting clear boundaries is not about rejecting others, but about honoring herself. It is a quiet declaration of self-worth, an unspoken promise that she will protect her time, energy, and emotional well-being. This clarity does not push people away. It draws them closer, as they are naturally attracted to her self-assuredness and strength. When you establish boundaries, you define the parameters of your emotional and physical space. This isn't an act of defiance, it's an act of self-love. By setting limits on what you can and cannot accept, you communicate that you value yourself and expect the same from those around you. This confidence is deeply magnetic, as it signals to others that you know your worth and are not afraid to protect it. Communication is the partner of boundaries. While boundaries set the structure, communication ensures they are understood and respected. Clear, open dialogue allows you to express your needs without fear or hesitation. It transforms potential conflict into an opportunity for deeper understanding. As the Stoics teach, first learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak. When you communicate with intention, your words carry weight, creating a foundation of trust and mutual respect. Boundaries are not rigid rules designed to control others. Instead, they are guidelines that help define how you wish to be treated. They provide clarity, removing uncertainty and fostering a sense of safety within the relationship. When you articulate your boundaries clearly, you allow the other person to step into a space of accountability, ensuring the relationship is balanced and respectful. At the same time, boundaries empower you to take responsibility for your own happiness. By acknowledging your limits, you prevent resentment and burnout, which often arise when you overextend yourself to meet someone else's expectations. This balance creates harmony, allowing you to nurture the relationship without losing yourself in it. The beauty of boundaries lies in their ability to evolve. As relationships grow, so do the needs and expectations within them. Being open to revisiting and adjusting boundaries ensures they remain relevant and effective. This flexibility does not diminish their power. It strengthens them by showing that they are grounded in mutual understanding rather than rigid demands. Communication, when paired with boundaries, becomes a tool for connection rather than division. It creates a dialogue where both partners feel heard, valued, and respected. A high-value woman approaches these conversations with grace and composure, ensuring her words are both firm and kind. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Kindness is invincible." This balance of strength and empathy allows her to convey her needs without alienating the other person. Boundaries also create space for independence within the relationship. They allow both partners to maintain their individuality while fostering a deeper sense of unity. When you honor your own boundaries, you set an example for others to do the same, cultivating a dynamic where both people feel empowered to grow as individuals and as a couple. For boundaries to be effective, they must be consistent. Inconsistency breeds confusion, making it difficult for others to understand where they stand. By maintaining your boundaries and communicating them with clarity, you establish a foundation of reliability and trust. This steadiness is not only attractive but also deeply reassuring, creating a relationship where both partners feel secure and respected. It is also essential to recognize that boundaries are a two-way street. Just as you set your own, you must also respect his. This mutual respect creates an environment of equality, where both partners feel free to express their needs and expectations. It eliminates the power struggles that often arise in relationships, replacing them with a sense of partnership and collaboration. As Epictetus reminds us, no man is free who is not master of himself. Boundaries are the key to mastering your emotions, your time, and your energy. They allow you to remain grounded and focused, ensuring that your relationships are built on a foundation of mutual respect and understanding. A high-value woman knows that boundaries are not limitations, but pathways to deeper connection. They are the framework within which love can grow, free from resentment or misunderstanding. When combined with clear communication, they become a powerful tool for creating a relationship that is both strong and fulfilling, rooted in authenticity and mutual respect. As we close, let's reflect on the journey we've taken together. Today we uncovered the powerful traits of a high-value woman: authenticity, emotional stability, quiet confidence, and the ability to set boundaries and communicate with clarity. These principles are not just tools for building stronger relationships, they are pathways to discovering your true self and embracing your worth. At the heart of it all is the understanding that love, respect, and admiration come naturally when you live in alignment with your values. You don't need to play games, chase validation, or compromise your identity. Instead, by focusing on your personal growth, emotional resilience, and inner peace, you create an irresistible energy that draws others toward you. As the Stoics remind us, happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. Remember, the journey to becoming a high-value woman is not about perfection. It's about progress. Each step you take toward embodying these principles brings you closer to the life and love you deserve. And as you grow, you inspire those around you to do the same. Now I encourage you to take a moment to reflect. Which part of this journey resonated with you the most? How have these lessons shown up in your life? Share your story in the comments below. Your insights might inspire someone else to take their first step toward transformation. Thank you for joining me today. Here's to your growth, your confidence, and your extraordinary journey ahead. Remember, you are enough. You've always been enough.